Hello, guys. Hope you're well. My name is Henry Mensah, and I'm the author of the book called My Name is Lupus. Um, Tonight, I've just created this extract from my book so that you guys can have a listen. It's for the foreword and chapter one. So please listen and enjoy. Thank you so much.
Forward. Life is but a mysterious phenomenon that all seem not to really understand. It is a place where souls intertwine with flesh and where seen and unseen forces dwell. But many only see what is obviously visible before them and miss out on the magic that is happening behind things. The magic is the life. All good in the world is packed inside each individual. It is the individual who brings about all this good into the world. Forces of nature will always be there. Bad people will always exist, and bad thoughts will always be verbalized. Faith will always be ridiculed, and hopes dashed from many who do not really understand the goodness and power of their own selves. Let the world beat at my door and people ridicule me at my doorstep, but I will not let them in into my inner world where my magic exists. Within me, I am able to create wonderful thoughts with my invisible mind. These are thoughts that make me happy. These thoughts nourish my being and my body. Here in me I am happy. Here in me is my world, my hope, my faith, and my love. Here in me I am complete and enough. Introduction. My Name is Lupus is a story about a villain named Lupus, who is an agent that torments people by weakening their bodies until they reach their doom. Lupus, who had lived a long time ago and had taken his time to study his victims, had found ways to subdue them and torment them until they were weak and reached their doom. After his careful observation and study, he decided to write down his findings so as to help his predecessors to subdue more humans and bring them to their ultimate doom. This book was intended to inspire many lupus sufferers not to give up the fight of their lives. As a sufferer myself, I know the fight and I know it well. And so in this little story, I show you how I fought and still fight my battle against our villain Lupus. In telling my story, I hope to bless you and strengthen you as you fight your daily battle with self and the invisible tormentor named Lupus, who lurks in the shadows. I urge you as you read to read with an open mind, because it is only an open mind that can understand, or at least give a thought to the unknown. For we do not wrestle against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this age, against spiritual hosts of wickedness in the heavenly places. Ephesians 6:12. My name is Lupus. Dear Lupus agents, I salute you all, and I hope you are all in high spirits. I hope you have all taken your mission to torment people seriously. We must win this fight against humanity at all cost, lest we perish if they get the upper hand. And that is why I write you this sacred book, so that you may understand your mission and its details, because the enemy is rising. My name is Lupus, and this is a story I want to tell you, my comrades. It is a story about a little girl called Sarah who changed the course of my life together with others like her. Never have I come across such a girl before in my entire career as a lupus agent. Even thinking about her sends shivers down my spine. But as I have said before, this is a story I want to tell you so that you and others that come after me may take caution of her and others like her. I was riding high and mighty upon the earth, having taken over many people's bodies, and made them very miserable and uncomfortable in their skins. I was happy and at my prime. At the doctor's office, little Sarah found herself sick again and sitting in the doctor's corridor with her mom by her side looking worried. She had not drawn any of her favorite pictures at all the whole week because of the pains in her body. It had been months since she started going in and out of hospital as a sick patient, thus disturbing the one thing she liked to do, which was to draw. As she sat there weak and ailing, she imagined herself back in her room painting a flower or her cute little Jack Russell puppy, which she had named Spots. The doctor came out his office, disrupting her daydream, and directed them to enter his office. "Good day, Mrs. Gordon." His voice quavered in his neatly kept office as he asked them to sit down. "And how are you today, Sarah?" continued the doctor, looking at the ailing girl, who was looking rather pale in color. He was a tall man with gray whiskers on his cheeks, rather neatly trimmed, and a heavy set of eyebrows that hung like a cliff on his forehead. Dr. Brownin was the inscription on the golden plaque on his table. Getting up, he moved closer to Sarah, examining her. "She's been refusing to eat since yesterday," the little girl's mother said, rather frustrated. "I just wish we could get down to the root of this problem," she added with frustration in her voice. "It is frustrating me seeing my child like this. Every second day, it is this or that. We have a whole pharmacy of medication at home from different doctors," the woman said, hoping the doctor would sympathize with her and find out what was wrong with her child. "Well, I just got your results this morning," said the doctor as he put his stethoscope on Sarah's chest, listening attentively to the child's ribbed chest. "Breathe in," he said to the little girl, who inhaled, holding her breath briefly. "Breathe out," Dr. Brownin added, completing his examination. Walking behind his desk, he pulled out a drawer and picked an envelope from within it. "These are the results," he said, rather excited, "and I will explain to you shortly what they are," he said, handing her the envelope. Opening the envelope, she retrieved a paper of which she looked at without any understanding. The doctor observed this and began to explain to her what the contents on the page meant. "That is a terrible disease." Mrs. Gordon burst out after listening to the doctor's diagnosis, almost forgetting that little Sarah was next to her. "But it can be managed," added the doctor, as he continued to explain to both mother and child. "With medication and a change of lifestyle, she would be healthier and stronger. Lupus is manageable and thousands of people live with it," the doctor added. "Also, Sarah is still young and we caught the illness on time." "Oh," said Mrs. Gordon, feeling rather relieved. "So do you mean my little girl is going to be fine?" she said, hugging the ailing girl. "Yes, she will be absolutely fine," said the doctor whilst writing in his prescription book. "Now, take this and give it to the pharmacist. These are her drugs and the pharmacist will direct you on how to take them," he said, tearing the paper from his prescription pad. "See me after a month on this date," he said, jotting down a date on Sarah's medical file. "Thank you, doctor," Mrs. Gordon said as she and Sarah were leaving his office. "I feel so much relieved that we now know what my daughter is suffering from. Considering the long months of not knowing what was wrong with her, I can now breathe and hope for the best. Thank you once again, sir," she concluded as she faced the corridor, and for a second she was disoriented until she saw a sign written pharmacy. Holding Sarah by the hand, they both plodded down in the direction of the sign. Now, as I hid myself within the shadows and watched my new victim ailing under my command, I listened to everything the doctor had told Sarah's mother, and I laughed inside me because I knew that no one ever survived my grip. I was so happy at this point, I danced about and sang my favorite song. "I'm hard to find and I'm here to stay. Don't worry about me, I will have my way. You can't hide from me, nor can you flee. I'm here to make you sick, by using all of my tricks." Happy and satisfied, I stayed in the shadows, planning and plotting on how I was going to twist and turn hurting my new victim's body. And so I followed them, carefully hiding in the shadows. The queue at the pharmacy was short, and so Sarah and her mother were helped immediately by the pharmacist and were quickly on their way home. "Now, honey," her mother said as she tucked little Sarah into bed that warm evening. "We need to take our medication from each box of tablets given by the doctor tonight," she added as she looked at the pile of medication on the little girl's side table. "It is for her recovery," she thought to herself as she retrieved one pill from each box and lined them up almost like sweets on the side table by the bed. "We will take them one at a time," she said, handing the little girl her first tablet. "Mommy," said little Sarah, taking a sip from the glass of water her mother had handed her. "Yes, my little angel," her mother responded. "What is it?" she asked. "Well," continued Sarah, "I overheard the doctor saying I have lupus." "Lupus," her mother corrected. "Yes, carry on." She nodded, handing her yet another tablet. "What is lupus, and why is it making me sick?" Sarah asked her mother, rather sick and irritated by the bitter medicines she was taking. "Can't I take juice with these tablets instead?" She complained to her mother after squeezing her face in disgust. "Ha ha ha," laughed her mother, saying, "No, child. The pharmacist said we should take these tablets with water, so let us follow his instructions so that we can get better much quicker," she said, handing her the last tablet. "Now, my child," her mother explained to Sarah, who was already yawning. "I do not know much about lupus apart from what the doctor had said today. He said that it is a manageable disease and you are going to live with it for the rest of your life. If you are fortunate like many other lupus sufferers, of which I know you are, you will go into remission and be cured at last. You need to eat healthy foods like your vegetables and have a balanced diet. Also, you must exercise to keep your body strong and to always take your medication." By the time she had finished her sentence, little Sarah was fast asleep and snoring gently. Kissing her child on the forehead, she tucked her in and then left her room, switching off the lights. Dancing with joy in my heart, I watched Sarah sleep. I had been scheming and plotting the whole day on how to twist and bend her body. Perhaps I should give her the bellies, I thought to myself. That would keep her down for the day. I smiled at this thought. No, no, no. I argued with myself. Perhaps if I made her weak and keep her in bed the whole day. She will be bored and miserable with nothing to do, and this will dull her mind and bring down her spirit. I wanted something terrible and very special for my new victim when, suddenly, Sarah stirred from her bed and tried to get up to go to the little girl's room, but she was too weak that she fell on the floor and collapsed. Lupus laughed and rejoiced at her falling. He danced and celebrated all around the collapsed girl. Now, in his joyous thrill, he noticed the window in Sarah's room open and a white figure, almost invisible, entering through the window. Afraid of being seen, Lupus then hid himself within the shadows and watched as the white figure picked up Sarah and flew her back to her bed, tucking her in. I was furious when I saw Spirit intervene as he picked up my victim. "Drat!" I swore in anger and frustration. "You are not supposed to do that." I tried to scold him in my mind as I argued with myself, but to no avail. "She is mine, and no one has the right to her, including you." I carried on arguing in my mind, wishing I could tear Spirit apart.